The quest to understand why Mars is red in color is almost as old as the quest to reach Mars itself. Scientists in a new study finally seem to have an answer, and this time it looks like they have cracked it. Hello and welcome to The Print. I'm Akanksha Mishra, and this is Scientifics, where I will be taking you through this week's top science news from across the world. The prevailing theory is that Mars is red because of the presence of hematite, an iron oxide material, in its soil. Now, scientists have proved that actually it's not hematite but ferrihydrite, another iron oxide material that's responsible for the brick red Martian dust. Not that interesting? Well, let's dig deeper. Hematite is indeed present throughout Mars, but it's formed under warm and dry conditions. But ferrihydrite, on the other hand, which is just as abundantly found on Mars, forms in water-rich environments. So, if scientists have been able to prove the presence of this mineral in Mars, wouldn't that indicate that Mars at one point had a lot of water? And it's not just water in any form, but liquid cool water that's necessary for ferrihydrite formation. This opens up many exciting avenues for research into the red planet's history. But scientists have warned that all their research has been on the basis of observations and pictures from Mars missions, and they are still waiting for the Perseverance rover to bring back the first ever samples of Martian rock to Earth. The next study today is alarming, to say the least, given the new insights it provides on the impacts of climate change on human health. Scientists from University of Southern California have found that outdoor ambient temperatures can impact biological aging in humans. More exposure to high heat days leads to older adults aging faster. The study looked at 3,600 participants across the United States, estimated the number of heat days in their location, and correlated it with their biological aging. Biological aging means the molecular and cellular aging that occurs in your body, and it may not always coincide with your chronological age. The faster you age biologically, the higher your mortality and your disease risk. They found that people living in areas where half the year is heat days, that is, days with temperature higher than 32 degrees Celsius, experienced 14 months of additional biological aging than people living in areas with less than 10 heat days a year. The paper recommends that policymakers take this information into account when making decisions regarding the health of older and vulnerable populations. Rainforests, which are very diverse ecosystems, were never considered to be places for human habitation in history. The earliest evidence for humans inhabiting rainforests came from South Asia from about 70,000 years ago, which is quite young in geological terms. But a new study by Nature now shows that there were humans living in rainforests in Ivory Coast in Africa as far back as 150,000 years ago. This is double the time that was previously thought. The study is the result of efforts of German, UK, US and African scientists who analyzed stone tools gathered from a site in Ivory Coast way back in the 1980s. However, back then archaeologists could not determine how old the tools were. Now, using advanced technologies, scientists were both able to figure out that the tools were 150,000 years old and that those many years ago also the site was a rainforest. This is interesting because it provides insights into humankind's history and also the ability to inhabit different kinds of ecosystems and survive in them. Finally, we have a new study which could provide hope for cancer patients undergoing radiation therapy. Known to be extremely painful and cause side effects, radiation is still one of the more mainstream therapies for many cancers in human beings. Now, scientists in the US have taken inspiration from a unique species called tardigrades or water bears that are very tiny creatures who can withstand extreme conditions, from outer space to heavy pressure to radiation. The scientists decided to extract a particular protein which is called D-soup, which helps these tardigrades withstand radiation, and they injected it into other beings. When they tried it with mice, they found that it did end up protecting mice cells from radiation damage. Importantly, it did not spread this protection effect into the cancer tumor itself, so the radiation work was not hindered. If they are able to customize it to human beings, this protein could help so many people withstand the pain and the side effects of radiation. That's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning into The Print.